Hey everybody, welcome to another update video. I hope you're doing well. Summer is rapidly approaching, but first we want to tell you what has already happened this past month.
So this month, we're wrapping up a lot of our normal ministries, and so with ESL, as I approach the end of this year, I can look back and just see so much of how our students have improved. We had some really low level students this year, and just to see how far they've come in their comprehension and their abilities to learn and to understand. And when you say a letter of the alphabet, they can write it down, like things like that. And so one student has improved a lot over this last year and just wrote out the months of the year without error in it. And so that was really exciting to see. And another student in our as we practice conversations, she just sounded like a native English speaker. And so just really proud of how much our students have grown and have improved. And so I'm looking forward to wrapping up this year and to see what next year looks like. A lot of our students are already anxious about wanting to register for next year and wanting to come back. And so I'm just excited for those relationships to continue to grow.
Along with ESL, we will also be wrapping up our teen ministry within the next couple weeks. We have 2 more Wednesdays where we'll have study hall and Bible study. And then actually that second Wednesday, we're going to have a pizza party. One of the helpers that comes and works in our study hall, he wants to provide pizza for the students. And so we're just going to hang out and have fun. So I am excited for that. This past month, we've been able to see at least 10 or more average come to our study hall, and they always play games and get to hang out with them. And then our Bible study, it's been interesting lately. There's just been one student, and she keeps coming. she'll leave with her friends, to take them somewhere, but then she'll come back for Bible study. And a couple weeks ago, she actually brought a couple of her friends that I did not expect to stay for Bible study. And so it is cool to see God, little victories. And it's not the whole group, it's not a bunch of people, but there's one faithful person that for some reason keeps coming, wants to learn, wants to be in the Word, wants to be present. And so I'm just thankful for that God has brought that one student. And we're just really praying as we get to the end of this school year. Some of these students are graduating, and we may never see them again. We don't know what happens after the summer. If they go to college, they start their careers and all these things. And there's that pressure that we can feel of we want them to know the gospel. We want them to know Jesus. And so we're just praying that these next 2 weeks that God would use them and that He would give us wisdom on how to tell them the gospel now. And we may never get the chance, but to do it in a way that is loving, that is gracious, that is humble, and that means something to them. And so it's just been fun to hang out with our students and to see what God has done with it over the past couple of years.
This past month, we also had 2 events. One was a membership fiesta, and so this was on Cinco de Mayo, where we promoted it. It was for our current members and anybody who wanted to learn more about membership. And so we got together, we had some chips and dips and games and different things like that. But we also got to talk through what is membership, why become a member, what are the benefits of that, and have even our own members speak into that, and which is really cool to hear. And so we had about 4 prospective members and several others that couldn't make it to the meeting but were interested. And so it's just exciting as we see our church grow more and more to just build up that base of members, and to also just talk about ways that they can serve and jump in. And so I'm excited to see how God continues to work in Everlasting Church, specifically through our members. Another event that we had was Bring a Friend Day. And so this was a goal that we had as a church this year, that we want to have at least one Sunday where we are intentional to invite our friends and people that we know and interact with to come to church. And so we told them, we're like, you don't have to wait for this day, but we wanted to provide a day like that that's kind of special but also normal, so that people see what it's like on a normal Sunday and are not thrown off if we have a big special day and then come back the next week and it's not as special.
Yeah.
And so that day we saw a few people bring friends, and a lot more people I know were invited. And so just those seeds that were planted, you never know how God will use that. And so I think in the fall we're planning on having another Bring a Friend Day. And so just trying to get our members and people that attend church excited about bringing others to church.
So now we have some upcoming ministry to tell you guys about. As summer approaches, we have mission teams that come. I think this summer we have a total of 6 teams, some from Oklahoma, some from Missouri, and a collection of other places, and they come and they help our church. And they pick up trash in the neighborhood, they pass out flyers, they do surveys to try to meet people, find out needs of the neighborhood, and connect people to the church. And so these teams are always a blessing. There's always fruit from them, not just inviting people to church, but also just a blessing to us, how they care for us and they support us. And so we're thankful for these teams. But as they come, there's always a plethora of events that we do throughout the summer because of these teams. And so we actually have a team coming up this next week, and they're going to help us on Thursday with a little afternoon in the park with families where they're going to bring soccer balls and frisbees, and we're just going to hang out there and meet people. On Saturday, we're doing a family game night where they're going to provide pizza, and we'll have games and board games, and we're going to do a Smash Brothers tournament with some of our teenagers, which I've never done before. I'm excited. There's been a lot of interest, so much interest that it kind of scares me. But it's going to be fun, and it's just another way to meet our teenagers and love on them and get them connected with the church. And then they're going to provide lunch for our church on Sunday. And so that's just a little taste of some of the things that teams will be doing this month. And as we progress through, we'll tell you more and more about these events. Next up, on June 23rd, that Sunday is going to be our Baptism Sunday and our Blessing Bag giveaway. Normally we do our Blessing Bag giveaway on the last Sunday of the month, but we're moving it a week forward. So just a heads up to you guys who may donate things or provide funds for that. We're doing it a week earlier, so just to give you guys a heads up. But that day we're also going to be baptizing some people in our church. This past Sunday we had a baptism class where people stayed and they learned about what baptism is and why it's something that we do, why it is a necessary step of obedience where we publicly express our faith in Christ in front of the church, in front of others, by being baptized, fully immersed in water. And it's so cool to see people give their lives to Christ, but then they mean it. They're genuine. They're like, okay, I want to do this. This is what I know I need to do. It's not just something that makes me feel better or it's going to help, but it's what I'm supposed to do. So we're looking forward to baptizing several people in our church. And so that's going to be on June 23rd, if you could be praying for that. And then lastly, on June 30th, we're going to have a graduation Sunday for our seniors. We have a couple seniors that come to church regularly on Sundays, but also through our study hall, we've gotten to meet a handful more of seniors that are graduating this year, and we've been able to build relationships with them, and we want to celebrate them. And so on June 30th, I'm inviting these seniors to bring their families, and we're going to celebrate them and their graduation and talk about where they're going and how we as a church can be praying for them. I'm going to get them a gift that they can have, and so it's just I'm excited that we can celebrate our students. I want them to feel loved and appreciated, but also it's just another way to connect them to the church, for them to know that we're here and that there's a God that loves them, that there's a Savior that died for them. And so it's going to be on June 30th where we have that graduation Sunday for our seniors.
Lastly, I have some prayer requests, and so as we wrap up some of these ministries for the summer, just asking that you would pray alongside of us for gospel conversations with ESL and with our teen study hall. Just heavy on our hearts that we want these people to come to know God, and so just be praying with us for that. If you could be praying for our Baptism Sunday, I know that Satan loves to attack when believers are taking that next step of obedience, and so if you can just be praying just for protection from spiritual warfare for those believers that are gonna publicly profess their faith, and that they would come, and that their families and friends would come and just get to join together as we as a church celebrate the profession of faith that they're making. And lastly, you can be praying for our mission teams and for our Jensen interns. So Ben mentioned the mission teams a little bit. We also have 2 Jensen interns here with us for the summer. They have been on mission trips here to the Bronx, worked with our church before, and so it's exciting to have them. 2 students that kind of know the area a little bit, and so they're super excited to be here. And so if you can be praying for them as well as for our mission teams. God just does a lot through the summer and provides just a lot of fruit, and people get connected to the church that I don't think would have had the opportunity otherwise. And so we're really thankful for these interns, really thankful for mission teams. And with that though, Satan hates that, right? Like Satan does not like people getting connected to the church and hearing about the gospel. And so just honestly, like I'm already feeling that, a little bit of spiritual attack, and especially it's hot.
Yeah.
And I'm cranky sometimes, and just the heat does not help. But you could be praying for Ben and I as we are working and in marriage, and being praying for Jordan and Becky for the same things too, and just that Satan would not attack us, and that we would just lean into God for our strength and energy and emotional, mental, and physical, all of that. And so you can just be praying for us, and also be praying for Ben as he finishes up school at the end of the month, that he would be able to balance mission teams and ministry and marriage and all that well. And so we just appreciate your prayers for us personally and for the Saucedas as well, and all of that.
With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in for another video. It's always fun to tell you guys what's going on. And I hope it never gets old for you, because it doesn't get old for us. And so we're not going to shut up about it. We're going to keep talking about what God is doing in this neighborhood. Hannah and I, we're coming on 4 years of living in New York. And it's just crazy to think that all that God has done in those 4 years, the prayers that he's answered, the ways that he's moved, the way he's provided, the things that he has kept from happening, and the things that he's allowed to happen. God has just been so good in these 4 years. And so I hope our videos, I hope our testimonies, all these things, I hope these are affirming for you that God answers prayers, that God is working, that God is moving. For those of you that are praying for us, and those that are supporting us financially, God's using that. This isn't just a fruitless effort. This isn't just something you're doing. Like, God is using you in what is happening here in the Bronx. And so we can't thank you enough for what you guys do by praying, supporting us, caring for us, loving for us. We're so excited to see what God is doing, and honored to get to be a part of it. And so thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And with that being said, we're going to shut up now.